Hello and good morning. Welcome to Morning Asia. I'm Tanya Francis and I'll be with you for the next hour. The top news story this hour, the US resumes strikes while Iran says it struck 2 tankers in the Strait of Hormuz. We'll bring you more of the top headlines. And in the global papers, these renewed tensions in the Strait of Hormuz are making front pages, as well as the growing impact on global trade, to a major counterterrorism investigation in Britain and China's latest push to shape the future of artificial intelligence. Today's newspapers are offering a fascinating snapshot of the issues driving the global agenda. We'll review them for you in the next 15 minutes. And in today's spotlight, Pakistan's mangoes are prized around the world for their incredible sweetness, but this year's harvest is facing some tough challenges, from changing weather to rising transport costs linked to conflict overseas. What's happening to one of Pakistan's most famous exports? And more importantly, we're going to try settle the debate. Which part of Pakistan produces the tastiest mango? Is it Punjab? Is it Sindh? Stay tuned as we taste test some of the most popular ones. There we go. Now let's take a look at what is making front pages around the world and see how today's newspapers are framing the stories shaping the global agenda. We begin in the UK with The Guardian, which leads with the investigation into the death of a former Conservative MP, Anne Widdecombe. Widdecombe death inquiry being treated as terror case is the headline. The paper reports that counter-terrorism police have taken over the case after what they describe as a significant amount of new information came to light, reigniting concerns over the security of public figures in Britain. While the lead story is political and investigative, the front page also carries a prominent tribute to actor Sam Neill, marking his death at the age of 78. Now, staying with a story that also centres on the Strait of Hormuz, we're looking at the Financial Times. They look beyond the immediate geopolitical tensions to the economic response. Dubai's DP World planning new East Coast port to bypass Hormuz Strait. So it reports that Dubai's DP World is planning a new East Coast port that would allow shipping to bypass the strategically vital waterway rather than focusing on the latest political developments. The paper frames the story around long-term trade resilience and supply chains, and the front page image is of smoke rising over the strait, and it reinforces the commercial stakes behind the conflict, especially around the Strait of Hormuz. Now to the Hindustan Times, also giving prominence to the Strait of Hormuz, but from Washington's perspective. It leads with President Donald Trump's decision to reimpose a naval blockade on Iranian vessels while maintaining that commercial shipping will continue to move through the waterway. Compared with the Financial Times, which examines the business implications, the Hindustan Times focuses more on the latest escalation in US policy, and the image again of smoke over the strait underlines this renewed tension. Now, Pakistan's Daily Times continues the same story, but frames it around President Trump's announcement to reinstate the blockade on Iranian ports. The emphasis here is on the US decision itself and its regional implications, while also highlighting assurances that international shipping routes will remain open. The front page picture is of President Trump himself, reflecting that editorial focus, placing the announcement rather than the conflict at the center of the coverage. So turning from geopolitics to technology now, China Daily leads with President Xi Jinping's plans to outline China's vision for artificial intelligence at the World Artificial Intelligence Conference, which is happening in Shanghai. Xi to set out vision for AI development is the headline. The newspaper presents the event as an opportunity for China to shape international cooperation and governance in AI. Interestingly, while technology dominates the headline, the largest image on the front page is actually showing some severe flooding that's been caused by Typhoon Bavi, a reminder of another major story affecting Asia at the moment. Across the United States, the Washington Post takes a very different direction. Rather than leading on international affairs, it focuses on a domestic legal ruling in which a federal judge found that President Trump's lawyers and senior Justice Department officials misused the court in an IRS case. Trump's attorneys, DOJ leaders, they're saying that they misused courts in this IRS case. The judge says the decision includes referrals for possible disciplinary action, making legal accountability, not foreign policy, the newspaper's principal concern. And finally, well, let's first go actually to the Australian before we go to the Dhaka Tribune. It's turning its attention to the housing market. First home buyers fall foul of fix. So its lead story argues that recent government policies and tax settings are making it increasingly difficult for first-time buyers to compete with investors, placing affordability at the heart of the national debate. Visually, however, the front page has got a full-page tribute to actor Sam Neill. It's a notable contrast with The Guardian, where his passing is it's being given front and centre. It's the secondary story in the Australian, but it is the dominant image. Okay, the Dhaka Tribune in Bangladesh leads with the devastating impact of heavy monsoon rains across the country. Why Dhaka keeps flooding after every heavy rain? Well, the paper reports that floods and landslides have claimed dozens of lives, while also examining why Dhaka remains so vulnerable to severe flooding after every period of intense rainfall. Unlike many of today's newspapers, which focus on politics and international tensions, the Dhaka Tribune keeps its attention firmly on a humanitarian crisis at home. The striking front page photograph of submerged streets powerfully reflects the full scale of the flooding going on there at the moment. So those are the stories making front pages around the world this morning. We'll, of course, keep an eye on those stories and how they develop throughout the day. But for now, we're going to update on the weather. Right, we're starting in Islamabad. We can expect a mix of sunshine and clouds with some hot, humid conditions throughout the day. Temperatures are going to climb to a high of 35 degrees, while a brief afternoon thunderstorm can't be ruled out. Tonight, skies are going to turn partly cloudy and warm with a low of 27 degrees. Now, over in Beijing, again, look out for that hot and humid weather with intervals of cloud and sunshine, sending temperatures up to 33 degrees. A strong afternoon thunderstorm is possible in spots before conditions remain mostly cloudy overnight with a low of 23 degrees. Down in Riyadh, sunshine will again dominate the forecast, pushing those temperatures up to a scorching 43-44 degrees. Skies will stay crystal clear tonight as temperatures ease down to 29-30 degrees. Air quality remains poor, so those sensitive to pollution should take some extra precautions. Now, heading to Istanbul in Turkey, we can expect a pleasant mix of clouds and sunshine, a comfortable afternoon high of 28 degrees. A passing shower is possible later in the day before skies become mostly clear overnight, settling in at a low of 19. Now in London, another very warm summer's day is on the cards, with plenty of sunshine and a high reaching 32 degrees. Tonight stays mild under partly cloudy skies with temperatures dropping down to 20 overnight. It's another day to stay hydrated if you're spending any time outdoors in the capital. Now turning to Washington, D.C., expect intervals of cloud and sunshine with increased humidity. A couple of afternoon thunderstorms could become heavy, bringing torrential downpours, gusty winds and the risk of localized flash flooding. Daytime high is 32 degrees before conditions gradually improve overnight with a low of 23 degrees. In New Delhi, in India, expect a mostly cloudy and humid day, the occasional shower popping up here and there, keeping temperatures near the 30-degree mark. Thunderstorms are likely to become more widespread tonight, while temperatures settle in at 26 degrees. Now, up in Moscow, a few morning showers are going to give way to some cloudiness for much of the day, with highs of 22. It remains mostly cloudy overnight with the chance of another passing shower as temperatures dip to 16 degrees. Finally, let's go to Paris. Expect blazing sunshine here. Another spell of intense heat is happening in the French capital. Temperatures searing up to 35 degrees. Clear skies continue into the evening, keeping conditions warm with a low of 21 degrees. Heat precautions are advised during the hottest parts of the afternoon in Paris. Now, next up on our Spotlight interview, Pakistan's mango industry is being put in the spotlight. Now, Pakistan produces some of the most sought-after mangoes globally. They're loved for their intense sweetness. Chaunsa, Sindhri, Anwar. The country grows over 200 varieties of mangoes, and there's a healthy bit of competition as to which province grows the best-tasting fruit. But the industry is facing some challenges this year, from changing growing conditions to the impact that the war is having on transport costs. So to understand more about mango production in Pakistan, we have Haziq Nizamani from an orchard in Sindh, whose family business has been growing the fruit for 5 generations. Welcome, and how wonderful is that to have been, well, to be part of something that's been here for so long, creating, you know, some of the country's pride, I guess. What's your sort of connection to the business when it comes to, you're the 5th generation, I imagine,
Yes.
of growers and exporters?
So we've been growing, I've been around mangoes my entire life.
Yeah.
Ever since I could remember, my dad has been taking me to the orchards.
Oh.
We've just been walking around. Yeah, it's been an integral part of my life ever since I could remember.
Is there mango at every meal?
Yes.
Or do you...
Yes. During the season, most definitely. A pride, a meal that we love to have is just mangoes with rice.
Right.
That is a staple meal, especially during the mango season.
Someone told me the other day that something that's not quite as popular but people do have is mango with naan, which I don't think I've ever had. Is that something you have on your dinner table at home?
I have never heard of that.
Okay, maybe that's something we both need to try. We are going to be trying some mangoes a little bit later on in this show.
Mm-hmm.
But first of all, I want to understand a little bit more about kind of what goes into, at least with your family orchard, like what has gone into sort of growing and maintaining that over the years.
So most definitely when it comes to the growing aspect, it is, in my opinion, not as hard to grow, but with certain economic and environmental factors, it takes a hit. It takes a hit on your revenue. It takes a hit on the local economy, because most definitely it's not just our family. We have a lot of different families just dependent on the orchard as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I found really surprising is that the growing season, or at least the season that the mangoes are available, is quite small, and kind of each province seems to tag team. You know, I'm hearing like, oh, these ones are available this month, these ones are available that month. How does that work?
So it's because of the heat. The mangoes start to ripen as the season gets hotter.
Yeah.
So this year, for example, we had record highs. The peak hit at over 50 degrees Celsius during the harvest. So you had mangoes that were just ripening on the tree.
Okay.
Generally speaking, when it comes to, so we specialize in Sindhri mangoes. Sindhri mangoes, generally, you start to harvest after the 15th or 20th of May. But this year, we started harvest 10 days early, and still that was too late.
Okay.
So we'll take the parts of Sindh, for example, closer to the desert areas. So Umarkot, for example, that's when the season starts. And then we slowly move up north. Then you come to the Tondo Alayar and Mir Prakash belt, that, in my opinion, has the best mangoes in the country.
I was waiting for that. Where are the best mangoes? It's a worldwide, or perhaps a countrywide debate. So you think it's from the Mirpas kind of region?
Yes, that belt. Well, I am a little bit biased, of course. That's because that's where
maybe your own orchard.
Yes.
Yeah. What makes a good mango? Because
the flavor, the sweetness, the size, the color, the quality of the pulp, the actual flesh itself. All of these factors factor in for a good quality mango.
So you said that the sort of harvesting season was a bit tricky because you had to bring everything forward so that they didn't ripen on the trees. But then when it comes to actually exporting them, sending them around the country, even around the world, what's that been like?
Very difficult.
Tricky.
This year, because Our major countries that we export to are going to be Iran and Afghanistan.
Okay.
And due to the economic situation, we were not able to send those countries our mangoes this
Did
year.
you just go down to zero?
Yes.
Wow.
So just from Afghanistan alone, $1 billion worth of trade was just wiped out.
Wow.
So we're not able to send them any mangoes, and then that took a hit on the local economy.
Of course.
Otherwise, other countries that we do export to on a commercial scale would be countries in the Middle East, like Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Qatar, all of those countries.
So the war's obviously having an impact. It's having an impact in many areas of our lives. But then I'm also hearing a lot about climate and the changes around, global warming. You've mentioned that the picking season being brought forward, and then the cost of actually transporting these mangoes once you've got them off the trees. We've all struggled with the pinch of petrol going up, and that must have affected business as well.
Yes, our transportation costs have gone twice what it was compared to the previous years. It has been horrible, to say the least.
Yeah, very, very tricky indeed. So how do you sort of combat this as a family, as a family-run business? What do you just sort of buckle in and
You have to take the hit.
Yeah.
You really can't do anything about it because we are a smaller scale, just a family farm. We're not like a huge industry or anything. We're still very much dependent on these transporters that take our mangoes and ship them to the whole country.
Yeah.
So there's just in the transport costs alone, it has been horrible.
Now, before I moved to Pakistan, I didn't like mangoes, and then I realised that it's the king of fruits out here. I have to learn how to like it, and I must say I do now like them.
Yes, it is. It is a cultural pride of our country, especially us Sindhi people.
I actually now really want to go back to the UK and try a mango there because I don't know any different. I've just been gifted with the best. So now if I ever go back home, I'll be like, well, I don't know what's coming. I don't know if I can tell the difference between different mangoes across the country, but I'm sure that you can.
Yes.
So we've got a few mangoes here. They've been sliced like this. Perhaps we can talk about, how to cut a mango while we're doing this. But, we can tell slightly from the colours that maybe they're different. I wouldn't know, but can you perhaps try guide us through what to look for when we're looking at different types of mangoes?
So there are, first of all, as you mentioned, over 250 varieties in the country. Generally speaking, the most common ones are Sindhri, the pride of Sindh, and then you have Chaunsa, the superstar of Punjab.
Okay.
You have Dussehri, Anwar Ratol, just a lot of different varieties. When it comes to Chaunsa, you have two sub-varieties, white Chaunsa and black Chaunsa, or Kala Chaunsa. The key distinguishing factors between just to name a few, would be Sindhri, for example. It's going to be large, very big size. It tapers towards the end with a slight curve from the bottom of the stem part. And the pit is going to be small and then just generally less fibrous.
Okay.
Chaunsa, just in my opinion, looks like a generic mango. No hate to the Chaunsa growers out there. But when it comes to Chaunsa, it's more about the smell. So it's smaller than a Sindhri, generally speaking, and it's more round, more oval. And otherwise, it's just the smell.
Yeah.
So these mangoes that we have here at the moment, as you can see, you can notice two different colors.
Let's hold those up actually, because we've got this one here, which is kind of, I guess, like a much. Oh, we're going for the skin color, are we? Aha.
So as you can see, this is more yellow and that's more greenish.
Yeah.
And then when you look at the pulp, this is a lot more darker yellow. That's more of a whiter yellow. That's because it's just different levels of ripeness.
Okay,
Yes.
right. Let's start with this one then and give this one a little taste test. Oh, very sweet.
Yes.
Very sweet.
Yes.
Is this meant to be the sweetest one?
This
is a
white Chaunsa.
A white Chaunsa,
Yes.
okay.
Chaunsa is one of the sweetest mangoes in the country.
Yeah, I would say. And not too pithy or fibrous.
Yes.
It doesn't sort of get stuck in your teeth. Okay, that one is nice. And then we go back to this one, which kind of has more more green in the skin.
Yes, so that's the flavor profile is probably going to be a bit more tart, less sweet, just because it's not as ripe.
Okay, let's give it a go. Tougher to get into. I think I prefer this consistency.
Really?
So I've got more of a bite to it. Yeah. A mango is quite a satisfying thing to eat, from what I'm now learning.
Yes.
Is that you've got that pith, and I feel like unless you're covered in mango, like you're not eating it right. But it's quite fun to eat.
Growing up, when we used to have mangoes, my parents and my grandparents used to say that if you don't have the juices flowing down your forearm, you haven't had mangoes.
Okay, that means that I'm doing it right then.
Yes.
Your grandparents have confirmed that. Very good. Okay, I like this. I really like this one. Then, do we have a third one here? I'm not sure we can identify.
Based on my guess, this one, just based off of the size, I would assume this is
a lot bigger, doesn't
yes,
it? And a lot less ripe, is it? Because it's
yes.
green? Okay. This is the one I like the least, but is that because it's not ripe or because it's a different type of mango?
A different type of mango, and it's not ripe enough because as you can see at the flesh, it's not as a deeper yellow.
Yeah.
And then the actual skin part as well, it's still green.
I guess this would work really well in like a salad if you want something
yes.
more savoury, and then this is nicer to have as well, dessert with rice, in a smoothie, whatever you want. Now, when it comes to cutting a mango, I've seen a lot of debate and videos online about how some people and then other people. Is there a right way?
In my opinion, the best way to eat mangoes is with your hands, obviously.
Okay.
Also depends on the type of mango that you're having. In my growing up, how we used to do it for Sindhri, for example, you would cut the flesh out like this, and this would be the best way to eat Sindhri. But when it comes to Chaunsa, what you do is you would squeeze the entire mango, bite the top off, and then you would suck on it.
Oh, I haven't done that yet.
It's very fun.
Wow, okay.
It's very fun.
Are there still Sindhri mangoes around at the moment?
Wouldn't recommend them.
You wouldn't recommend them. I've missed the season. I'm going to have to stay in Pakistan for another year so that I can.
We would love to have you.
I can try that. You'll have to come back in a year.
Oh, yes.
Bring some of the mangoes from the orchard.
Of course.
And we'll give it a taste test. How many mangoes do you think you eat a day?
A day during season?
Yeah. I was wondering, is it one of those things where you're like, I just can't see mangoes anymore? I've cut them, I look out my window at them, they're everywhere, or do you genuinely enjoy it?
So during the start of the season, I most definitely enjoy it. Because I'm in the field the entire day from 5 to 6 a.m. till sometimes I go back home at 10 p.m.
Gosh.
And that's for a month straight. That's every single day,
that's
no
hard
breaks.
work, isn't it?
So a lot of my meals consist of just mangoes, nothing else. But after a while, it does get a bit repetitive.
Yeah.
But
you throw in a peach or a banana just to mix things up. Well, Haziq, thank you so much for coming in. What a fascinating family business to be a part of.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Haziq Nizamani there, talking about the incredible Pakistan mangoes. I think we might. Well, today I think the Sindhri mangoes were the winners, but yeah, nonetheless, all very delicious. We're going to have to go for a break, clear up the mango. Well, there we go. Thank you for watching Morning Asia. If you particularly enjoyed the show or you want to share it with a friend, then we're just about to go and get today's show uploaded onto YouTube, and we'll share some of the footage also on Instagram, Facebook and X too. So keep in touch. We always love hearing from you, and I'll see you tomorrow.